So it's Conference League for Forest if we get through the playoff. Coulda, woulda, shoulda. Welcome to my match thoughts. Good morning, good evening, or good night. Hope you guys are doing well. And welcome to what I hope will be a bit of a grown-up discussion about the Forest season. There's a lot of things we need to talk about. There's a lot of elephants in the room that need to be discussed. And a bit of reflection on what coulda and shoulda been with our team. If you're enjoying the content, please don't forget to hit the like button. Make sure you're subscribed if you are new. Can I just take this moment just to thank all of you throughout the season? You guys have been amazing. Without you, this channel doesn't exist. Without your support, without your views, without your thoughts and everything else. And we've built, in my opinion, the best community on YouTube. Not just in the Forest world, but in the Premier League world and in the football world. So thank you to every single one of you. I hope you've enjoyed the content. If you haven't, I'm sorry. But I just wanted to take a moment to give you guys a massive, massive thank you. Okay, look, there's a lot on my mind. My mind's still a bit scrambled. I need a PA with the amount of bookings people want me on to cook me for what happened against Chelsea. But we're in the Forest space here, so we need to talk about our team. Forget all the outside noise. There's a lot that needs to discuss. Only Forest can find a way to do what they've done to us in these last few weeks. And only Forest can find a way to do what they've done to us for this season. Raise your hopes, raise your expectations, make you forget about the old school scars, and then remind you again why Forest are Forest. You can almost like crack a little grin at it, knowing that, you know, if someone told you this script at the start of the season, Forest comfortable in third, odds on 93.3% likely to get Champions League. And then they're going to go and fumble the ball with 7 games to go, dropping more points than every team around us, not winning our last 4 home games or whatever it's been. You'd be like, yeah, that kind of sounds Forest-like. That kind of sounds Forest-like. But when you're sitting there living it in the moment, it ain't easy to take, even though we've seen similar scripts to this year in, year out. But it is Conference League football for Forest, and I do have some positivity to give you guys. And please just grant me it, because I am clutching at straws. Copium, call it. Whatever you want to call it. The last 2 Premier League teams to qualify for the Europa League ended up in the Champions League the following season. Villa obviously lost to our sister club, Olympiacos. They qualified for Champions League last year. Chelsea were in the Conference League this year, and they've qualified for the Champions League. 25-26. Do Forest continue that script? Or do we break the pattern? So that's the best I can give you in terms of copium and hopium. And looking at these teams that are in it, we'll do a whole video on the Conference League and everything else involved in it. Honestly, they ain't great teams. You got Lazio potentially getting in there. You've got Strasbourg in there. A repeat final with Malmo, maybe? Who knows? Outside of that, you look at it and think, you know what, there's a decent chance for us to go far in that league. And of course, if you win it, then you're guaranteed Europa next season. Okay, this is way too much copium. We'll save that for a separate video on the whole conference thing, right? But I just want to reflect back on yesterday to start with, and I just can't get those images out of my mind of Cristiano Wadinho missing those 2 chances. He scores that first one, we go 1-0 up, and I think we go on and win it. Newcastle blew it. Villa blew it against United of all teams. And that just makes that dagger all the harder to take, that you go into the start of that match and you're like, all right, we're not favourites to do this. There's no way Villa and Newcastle will blow it against an Everton team who have been brilliant under Moyes, but are on the beach, got their cup final done last week. The United team that couldn't even beat Spurs in a final. And it happened. And at half time, the scenario was score the next goal, you're in the Champions League. And this is the bit that I'm struggling with. I don't think we came out in that second half pumped up, motivated, just sheer, like put everything on the line. Like they would have seen the scores at halftime. They would have seen that Martinez had been sent off for Villa. You're looking at it and thinking both these results are a draw. One of them at least should go our way on the, probability of the outcomes. And I can't believe we didn't come out in that second half and just say, right, 15 minutes, forget low block, forget defensive football. This is our ground. This is our home. This is our backyard. Let's go and take it to Chelsea. And then, yes, when you look back at the goal, and I've seen it, Nico Williams, maybe it's harsh on him, but it's little mistakes that have cost us. And that's the difference. That second half is the difference between 80 to 100 million pounds. And I just want to take a moment to think how Marinakis is feeling, because that's hitting his pocket. He's now going to have to front the burden on the cost of this transfer window. The expectations now have been risen. We cannot go from the season we've had, which once all the dust has settled has been an excellent season, qualifying from Europe, doubling our points tally, 17th last season. You guys all know the narratives. We have to hold these standards and have to hold them high up and start rising and rising higher. Now you can, and that's not an overnight thing, by the way. Forest finishing 7th again next season would be very good, obviously depending on the summer we have. And then you kick on from there. You build your foundations, you establish yourself in that conversation, and then you kick on. Maybe you win the Conference League and get into Europa. Maybe you continue the pattern and get Champions League. Who knows? But we can't digress from where we are. This now for me has to be Forest minimum standards. We're back where we belong, and this is where we should be. But we shouldn't have conceded that goal, and we should not have subbed off Sangare. Sangare has been arguably the best player this last month for Forest. This is a guy that I've stuck by. This is a guy that I've said is quality. Loads of people were telling me he's too slow for the Premier League. He can't cut it, doesn't look fit, doesn't care, and all this. We didn't look like we could get the ball forward once Sangare came off the pitch, and I'm absolutely flabbergasted by that substitution. I really, really am. And we now have to seriously contemplate building this team, if it's a rebuild, if it's whatever, around Sangare, because he can do it, and he has shown he can do it in the last month. Yes, I know it's a small sample size, but the sample size we've just seen of him is that sample that he was producing before he joined Forest. So I think that is a positive, because it gets rid of this number 6 headache that we've had since we've been back in the Premier League. And I need to question, and one of the questions I have towards Nuno is, why was he not playing since January, February time, where he was fully fit, where he could have got, those couple of games in that period, got himself fully, properly match fit. And then maybe we could have won a few more games towards this run-in at the end. But again, that's more debates we have to have later down the line. The other thing we got to talk about is this squad. We cannot go into next season with this mini squad, for want of a better phrase. We need a squad that can compete in the Premier League and can compete in the European competitions. Now, we don't have to build a super squad. We're definitely not getting the players that we all hoped and prayed we would when it came to getting Champions League football. But we now need to unearth some more gems. We need another Murillo coming in, another Danilo. Those recruitment, that recruitment team that we've got that's unearthed some of these gems. They're going to have to find a couple more. That's going to have to be the way forward now. We may lose Gibbs-White to the likes of City or whatever. How do we then invest that money? We are a big club. We are in Europe. There are plus points now. There's more reason to join Forest now than there was 12 months ago. And we've got to figure out this manager situation as well, because there is talks and there is this. We've heard about the bust up with Marinakis and everything after the Leicester game and what have you. And I don't think Nuno was very definitive in his response in Sky Sports News when they asked him about his future. And he said that's not a discussion for now, kind of thing. Whereas you're fully hell-bent on it, come out and say, I'm here, this is my team, and I'm building it. I think he should be building it next season. I am, at the moment, I'll be honest with you guys, kind of, if you ask me Nuno in, Nuno out, I'm Nuno doubt, if I'm being honest with you. But it's doubt because I have questions about the latter stages of this season. It is completely fine, I think, to say that Nuno we're here because of Nuno, and we missed out on Champions League because of Nuno as well. Because we cannot overlook that January window where we didn't improve our squad, add to the squad, put some depth into that squad. And, you know, questions need to be asked about that as well. So there's a lot that needs to do, and then we need to cut down the players that aren't good enough. I don't think, you know, we'll go through a bomb squad list at some point, no doubt, in the next couple of weeks. But Sosa, don't know how good he is. We haven't seen enough of him. Jota Silva ain't cutting it for me. Morato, I don't think is good enough as a backup. His body still got another year in him. Chris Wood, he's been sensational this season, but he's already 33. Has he got another season in him? It's too risky, in my opinion, to rely on him. As I said yesterday on, it might have been Grumpy Old Reds. Make sure you check that out if you haven't seen it already. His profile is similar to Haaland. If he's scoring, he's had a fantastic game in terms of an influence on the game. But if he's not scoring, then is there enough product on that pitch? This guy's probably on over 100k now on his new contract. Can we rely on him to be one fit all season? He'll be turning into, you know, his 34th year. Or do we now look for a young gun striker who can come in and maybe take the reins from Chris Wood? And I know this is probably a controversial issue to have, but we got to be realistic. These are footballers, not robots. They won't go on forever. So we will break down the whole squad detail, talk about who needs to stay, who needs to go, what kind of profile players we need and everything. But right now, the dust is still settling for me. I stand by what I say, conference is beneath me and my club, man. Europa I could have stomached. The conference, I guess we get Europe, we get those away trips to, I can't even pronounce half these teams. Sigma Olomouc. I don't even know where that is. I really don't. Excuse me. But yes, we have European football. Yes, this is a step forward. 100% Forest are moving in the right direction. But Forest could have leaped in the right direction because the results went our way yesterday. And that's going to take me a little time to recover over. And don't get caught up. If you think it's a bottle job, if you think it's a capitulation, or if you think this is the best season you've seen, or you're happy even with the kind of final week's performances, whatever your narrative is, you are more than welcome to stick to it. As we always say here, you can say what you want, you can feel what you want, and don't ever let anyone tell you that you can or cannot feel that way. But keep your chins up. We're in Europe. Another adventure. Let's see where it takes us. And statistically, it means we should qualify for the Champions League next year. What do you guys think of that? If you haven't already, please don't forget to hit that like button. Make sure you're subscribed as well. If you are new to Forest Fan TV. There's the player ratings if you haven't seen those already. Grumpy Old Reds was last night, so make sure you check that out as well. I'm gonna go and get some cookings because everyone seems to want a piece of me right now. I have talked a big game, so time to cash in those receipts on it, I guess. We'll see you on the next video. Come on, you Reds.